Hello, guys, and welcome back to the Cozy Archives. Okay, I am high key obsessed with the one I found today. I actually am super excited to read this one with you guys today. It's How to Drive the Hero Course Insane, quote, without a quirk. Or I guess that's parentheses, without a quirk. I don't know why I said quote. However, this one it sounds ridiculously funny. I knew I had to read it. It's only 2,000 words, one chapter. Obviously, we usually do like pretty short ones on here. Um but yeah, this one actually seems so funny. So, I'm actually like doing everything wrong here for a second. Bear with me, guys. No, that's not what I wanted. Okay. So it basically says the summary says Izuku may be quirkless, but he's a damn good tech genius. He also is entirely done with people's shit and knows just how to annoy someone. Cough cough. Bakugou. Cough cough. But like in a fun way, you know. Or one shot where Izuku torments the hero course, all while him and Mei are sending Power Loader into early retirement. And I think that's what sold me. Like I'm so obsessed with the idea. I've always kind of been obsessed with the idea of like Izuku using his analyzing skills to be like in that department. However, I think that this is kind of like fits under that, obviously, but also like the whole premise of him like driving the hero course insane with Mei is, oh my god, I love that. Notes, I'm not gonna lie, this is low-key like a smash together of some TikToks I saw about support course Deku. Same girl. I may or may not post a longer version of the one shot. I'll decide later. And I say girl because I saw Jenna. It says Jenna at the top, but I'm still like gonna say they most of the time because I'm not gonna assume. But it's Jenna A by Jenna A246. And I'm just so excited to get into this. So excited, in fact, that I didn't even say hello. Welcome to the Cozy Archives. I usually read Bakugou Ao3 on here. I am a huge My Hero fan. I love anime in general. Also, peep the new shirt I got. You can't even see it with this microphone. Get out of the way. Look at this. I turned it into like a little pump cover. I just realized you guys probably couldn't hear me. I turned it into a little pump cover, and if you're asking what are you holding right there in your hand and you're so jealous of the color already, be jealous because I found this fuggler at Target yesterday. And his name is Gorbly. Sir Gorbly of the Rainbow Realm. I don't know, guys. I just thought of it. I actually looked at him and said like, "Speak to me, tell me your name." And he said it's Gorbly. And I said, "Okay, Gorbly. Okay." But no, this is gonna be my little cuddle buddy for I didn't know if I wanted to turn him into like a car companion. But I think I will when I get like a new car. I think we're looking to get me a new car. But for right now, hi. He is gonna be my podcast slash YouTube buddy, and he's gonna sit right here in my lap. You guys can't really see him, but you know, I think that he's adorable. My partner absolutely thinks he's like the ugliest thing on earth. I honestly fell in love. It's a Care Bear smash up one too, and I used to love the Care Bears. I always loved the Rainbow Dash, Rainbow Care Bear. I forgot what that name was. But anyways, enough ranting about that. I love this shirt. I bought it. I saw it. I like it. I want it. I got it. Okay, I'm seriously going off track. And if you like see this big old thing lug into the center, that's just me keeping hydrated. It's hard to read to you guys and not get dehydrated. But yeah, I just got that too, and it's like huge. So if you're like, whoa, when it comes into the screen, that's why. That's what it is. It's just me hydrating. Anyways, I'm gonna stop blabbing because I'm actually stopping myself from reading this, and I really want to read it. So I'm annoying myself right now. However, um, yeah, I already told you guys how excited I was. Yeah. I already said we read AO3 on here, and if you vibe with me, please hit the subscribe so that I can keep coming back to you. I always say that I will link the description, everything of every AO3 I read to give them proper credit, because these authors are out there doing God's good work and giving us these on their free time. They don't even get paid or anything. And yeah, I absolutely love most of the writing on AO3 more than I even do like books and stuff. I don't know what that says about me, but you can go ahead and judge. I don't yuck other people's yums. So, you guys, if you're here, you most likely know what I'm talking about. From the sidelines, all that. It's like Nicholas Sparks, basically, but in your universe, you like it. Anyways, I'm not going to try and sell you. I'm just going to read because that's what we're here for, right? Okay. Let's see if it's gonna be a good read day or a bad read day. The heavy reinforced maybe it's a bad read day. The heavy reinforced doors of the UA Teachers Lounge didn't just open, they groaned under the weight of a man who had spiritually left his body 3 hours ago. Wow. Power Loader, I think that's the I'm gonna say dump truck looking guy, but because I'm pretty sure he had like a claw dump truck looking thing on his head. That's just how I remember him, guys. Like, oh my god, that's how I remembered him. But I think that's the one they're talking about. So I'm trying to visualize. Loader dragged his feet across the linoleum, his support gear clinking limply against his frame. I need a lock in. He didn't even make it to the couches. He simply collapsed into the nearest office chair, tipped his head back against the wall, and let out a sound that resembled a dying vacuum cleaner. Let me guess, Aizawa muttered from the inside his yellow sleeping bag, not even bothering to open an eye. The gremlin. Gremlins, his power loader corrected, his voice a hollow shell of its former self. Plural? There are 2 of them now. Hatsume was a localized natural disaster, but Mydoria is the catalyst. He matches her crazy, Shota. He fuels it. They set a new department record today. 12 distinct localized detonations before lunch. Whoa. I love the idea of Izuku being like a complete menace because low key, I feel like he probably would be as he grows up, not gonna lie. That's an improvement from Tuesday, Vlad King offered from across the room, looking up from his grating. They weren't accidental, Khan. Power Loader groaned, rubbing his temples. They were testing blast-resistant polymorphs by actively trying to blow up each other. Whoa. Mydoria didn't even blink. He just wiped the soot off his goggles, sighed because the baseline decibel level wasn't high enough, and went back to the drawing board. The kid has no fear. He's quirkless. He's got the survival instincts of a oh my god, I'm gonna butcher this. Kamikaze moth. And he's currently rewiring my soldier ions to play pop music. I can't do this anymore. Aizawa let out a low huff, finally zipping down his sleeping bag. He's sharp. Annoying, but sharp. Just keep them from bringing down the western wing. I'm trying, Power Loader whispered to the ceiling. I'm trying so hard. I love how it starts with the teachers in the lounge, because I want in on some of those conversations. They can't be just sitting there discussing hero stuff all day. They have to be sitting there complaining about their students. And I bet you Bakugou and Mydoria are some of the top complaining things. Honestly, Hatsume would be too, but I want in on those conversations. I've always wanted in because I thought that would be so funny. I should look up more fanfics of just teacher lounge conversations and make them a cozy little episode here on the channel. And it's just light and fun, I need to do that. Comment if you would want me to down below. Let me know. Down in the support course workshops, the atmosphere was less academic laboratory and more mad scientist convention. Sparks showered from the corner where Mei Hatsume was laughing like a maniac, while Izuku Midoriya sat cross-legged on a workbench, a solder tucked between his ear and a wrench twirling expertly between his fingers. Everyone in UA knew Izuku was quirkless. It wasn't a secret, mostly because Izuku didn't care to make it one, and partly because his sheer, unadulterated sass made it impossible to pity him. He didn't need a quirk. He had a brain that moved at Mach 3 and a tongue sharp enough to cut the glass. I love this, Izuku. Keep going. When the door to the workshop hissed open, the chaotic noise didn't dull, but Izuku's eyes flicked up. Class 1A's resident human Grenade strode in. I was gonna say degenerate. I don't know why I wanted to say that from Grenade. Strode in, looking thoroughly displeased to be there. Deku, Oh, I don't know why I said it so light either. That's so not realistic. Deku, Bakugou barked. I'm gonna take a sip of my water because I need to put myself in a timeout corner with all of this. I'm just getting excited, so. Deku, Bakugou barked, dropping a heavy metallic gauntlet on the table right next to Izuku's thigh. The compression valve on the right bracer is sticking. Fix it. Izuku didn't even look up from the circuit board he was tinkering with. Wow. No, hello. No, good afternoon, Izuku. The sun is shining and your hair looks exceptionally fluffy today. Shocking. Truly. Shut up and fix it, you damn nerd. Izuku finally set his tools down, picking up the gauntlet with a critical eye. Once, years ago, a glare from Katsuki Bakugou would have had Izuku stuttering and apologetic. But somewhere between middle school graduation and surviving Mei Hatsume's experimental jetpacks, Izuku had entirely run out of shits to give. He didn't tolerate Katsuki's garbage anymore. I'll fix it when I'm good and ready, Katsuki, Izuku said, his voice dripping with sweet, intentional mockery. And by fix it, I mean I'm going to make sure it doesn't blow your own hand off, since your situational awareness apparently drops to 0 the second you get angry, which is always. Bakugou leaned over the desk, sparks literally snapping off his palms. What did you say to me? Izuku didn't flinch. He leaned right back in, matching his pace. I said, go sit in the corner and wait your turn. The adults are working. Oh my god. Izuku Midoriya. Sassball. Hey Bakugou, Midoriya. Aizawa's tired voice cut through the workshop haze. The underground hero stepped into the room, looking at the two of them with his usual deadpan exhaustion. Midoriya, I need you to come out to the ground beta. Class 1A is doing live fire combat drills, and I need someone to monitor Bakugou's support gear in real time. Power Loader said you're the only one who can calibrate his sweat storage levels on the fly. That's Aizawa asking for it himself. He's like, come create trouble for me instead. Or I bet like Power Loader was like, hey, you know, he's the only one that can do it. Please take him. Please take him for a little bit. Oh man. Izuku sighed, tossing the gauntlet into a tote bag and swinging it over his shoulder. Fine, but only because I like watching Katsuki get thrown into the concrete walls. Keep talking, Deku, and I'll blast you to the moon. Bakugou growled, stomping out ahead of them. As they walked out toward the observation deck, Aizawa looked down at the green-haired boy. Keep an eye on his output today. He's trying to push his maximum blast radius, but his gauntlets aren't reinforced for that kind of kickback yet. Help him with his items. Adjust his quirk usage parameters if you see him straining. Suddenly, Izuku stopped dead in his tracks. He clutched his chest, his shoulders heaving as he gasped violently for air, his face contorting into an expression of sheer agony. OMG, I can't breathe. I feel like they needed to be like, oh my god, instead. I feel like he's not gonna be like, OMG, I can't breathe. But she's doing so good writing the rest of it. I'm not here to criticize. I just felt weird like acting out OMG, I can't breathe. Okay, Aizawa pushed, but what's like going on? What the fuck? Aizawa paused, his hand instinctively going toward his capture weapon. He looked over, eyes narrowing. What? Why? What's wrong? Izuku took one more dramatic, wheezing breath, then straightened up entirely, his expression instantly smoothing into a deadpan look of profound annoyance. There's no room in Katsuki's ego, Izuku said flatly as he forcefully shoved his index finger straight into the center of the blonde's chest. He is the sass today. Or every day, I guess. The pressure in your immediate vicinity is suffocating, Katsuki, Izuku told him, poking him again for emphasis. Shrink it down. Some of us are trying to breathe oxygen, not your unearned self-importance. Burn! Get your greasy hands off me, Bakugou yelled, swatting at Izuku's hand, though notably, he didn't actually blast him. Aizawa just rubbed the bridge of his nose, wondering if it was too late to retire and become a cat breeder. No! No, Aizawa, do not become a cat breeder. What the fuck? That was so offhand. What in the world? The only reason I say that is because, like, I'm sure he would give them lots of love, but, like, a cat breeder? I mean, maybe he could. Just get your license and everything for him, man. 10 minutes later, the live fire drills were underway. From the observation tower, Izuku was a blur of motion. His notebook was open, but his fingers were flying across a portable holographic terminal tied directly to Bakugou's gear. To anyone else, Izuku looked like he was having a minor medical episode. His head twitched from side to side, tracking every movement on the monitor, and a low, terrifyingly fast stream of words poured from his mouth. Inputs at 40%, nitroglycerin. Viscosity is changing due to ambient humidity. If he pivots left, the twerk on the deltoid will cause a 3 millisecond delay in the spark generator, which means he needs to compensate by ... Mydoria, Aizawa said, squinting at the screen. Speak Japanese. I am, Izuku muttered, not breaking rhythm. Down on the field, Bakugou was dodging a simulated villain drone. There we go. Good job, Liv. Without looking up at the tower, his head snapped toward the audio comms. He said the humidity is messing with the sweat density. Teach. Tell the nerd to adjust the internal heating coils in the palms by 2 degrees. Aizawa blinked. You understand that? I've been listening to his crazy rapid muttering since we were 4, Bakugou yelled, blasting a drone into scrap metal. Just adjust the damn coils, Deku. Already did it 3 seconds ago, explosion boy. Izuku purred into the mic, a vindictive smirk spreading across his face. In fact, I threw in a few custom upgrades, to optimize your performance. Down on the field, Bakugou paused. A cold sweat that had nothing to do with his quirk washed over him. Deku, what did you do to my gear? I love this. This is amazing. Test it out. Pull the pin on your left bracer for a flashbang output. Bakugou, trusting the nerd's technical genius, despite his better judgment, grabbed the pin of his left gauntlet and yanked it out to blind the incoming wave of drones. Instead of a blinding flash of light or a deafening boom, a bright flash neon pink strobe light erupted from the gauntlet. A miniature disco ball popped out of the top casing, spinning rapidly, and loud, high-tempo 1970s disco music began blasting from the built-in audio speakers at the maximum volume. What the actual fuck did you do, Izuku? To top it all off, instead of a smoke, a massive dense stream of iridescent, unpoppable soap bubbles flooded from the battlefield. Oh my god. Floating serenely around the bewildered robotic Jones. I'm so sorry, guys, too. If I'm making, like, a lot of, like, pronunciation errors, like, errors, these, like, I'm not technical Deku, okay? I'm just a reader trying to read fanfic. In all of these words, I'm surprised I'm doing as good as I am. But yeah, I'm just a little side note there. Bakugou stood frozen in the middle of a literal disco party, a bubble gently landing on his nose. Deku! Bakugou's roar echoed across ground beta, entirely drowned out by the upbeat funk rhythm bouncing off the concrete structures. In the tower, Izuku was doubled over, wheezing with laughter, slapping his hand against the console. Even Aizawa's lips twitched slightly before he forced his face back into a stern mask. I love that. Later that afternoon, the adrenaline from the practical exam had faded, leaving Izuku to wander the halls of the main building to return some borrowed tools to the development studio. Read words. That's what I have to keep telling myself. He was taking a shortcut near the central courtyard when he ran into a towering figure. All Might. The symbol of peace was in his deflated coughing form, wearing his oversized yellow suit. When he saw Izuku, he offered a small, somewhat strained smile. Ah, young Mydoria. I saw the training footage from earlier. A very creative use of your support items, though perhaps a bit distracting for young Bakugou. Izuku stopped, his playful demeanor instantly vanishing, replaced by a cool, guarded expression. The history between them wasn't violent, but it was heavy. Huh. All Might, for all his grand speeches about heroism, was the absolute worst when it came to understanding the nuances of people who didn't fit into his perfect, quirk-defined box. That's a crazy twist, like, to put on, like, their relationship, but I feel like she's kind of, like, genius for this, because think about it. If Izuku didn't, like, at first, that's kind of how their thing ran, like, their relationship was in the beginning, before he realized, like, anyone could become a hero. And, like, even then, Toshinori himself was quirkless before. But, you know, it is crazy that if he were to have just dropped that on him and left, like, and Izuku did find a way to go into UA somehow, that is crazy how it probably would have been like this. Like, he probably actually would have come away a little bit more, like, with a tainted, like, vision of All Might, you know? And I'm not saying that's exactly how how it would have gone in, like, My Hero, but I actually think she's, like, kind of onto something here. With the whole thing, you know. I don't know. That's just me being like, that might be what it is. The history between them wasn't violent, but it was heavy. Quirk defined box, but yada yada. He was quirkist in the most passive systemic way possible. I guess that means, like, political term for that universe of, like, you know, pro quirk, I guess. Which, like, what? Some people don't have a choice, you know. Assuming that without a powerhouse ability, a person was essentially made of glass. Oh, I get what he's saying. It kept him on his toes, Izuku said, his voice clipped, and it proved his reaction time is delayed when he's embarrassed. It's good data. All Might rubbed the back of his neck, looking uncomfortable. Yes, well, I only worry, young man. The support course is the fine, noble pursuit, but you must remember that the field of heroism is dangerous. Without a quirk standing anywhere near the crossfire of villains, even as a technician, is a massive risk. Come on, All Might. I just want to ensure you aren't harboring unrealistic expectations about being in the front lines. It's for your own safety. Izuku's eyes narrowed. The air between them grew instantly cold. He took a step forward, his posture straightening, his sharp tongue laced with the venom that could rival a viper. You know, All Might, Izuku said, his voice dropping to a dangerous, quiet register that made the former number one hero flinch. I find it fascinating how you think your opinion on my safety carries any weight. Whoa. Young Midoriya, I only mean save it, Izuku interrupted, crossing his arms and tilting his head with a mocking, razor-sharp smile. We can argue about the logistics of support heroes all day, but at least I didn't leave a quirkless middle schooler stranded on a rooftop after shattering their dreams and telling them they couldn't be a hero without a quirk. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, technically, that's what he was gonna do. Like, telling them they couldn't be a hero without a quirk. All Might gasped, his pale face turning a ghostly shade of white, as he stumbled back a half step, blood coughing slightly from his lips in sheer shock. How did you... I read police reports and city rescue logs for fun, All Might. I know how to put two and two together. Izuku lied smoothly, though the truth of how he knew didn't matter. What mattered was the absolute crushing weight of his words. So don't lecture me on what's safe or what's noble. I'm changing the world from the workshop, and I'm doing it without a single drop of your approval. So wait, what actually went on? Like, are they saying, like, the author saying, like, they didn't actually, like, Izuku wasn't the one who did that? He wasn't the one who did that to Izuku, sorry. Logistics all day, at least I didn't leave a quirkless middle school on the rooftop. And then he goes, like, how did you know, basically? I read a police reports and the city rescue logs for fun, All Might. I know how to put two and two together. Maybe that they're insinuating, like, he wasn't the one, you know, like, Izuku Midoriya wasn't the one who he left on the rooftop that day. Maybe that's what. With a sharp turn on his heel, Izuku walked away, his tools clinking in his bag, leaving the symbol of peace standing entirely silent in the empty hallway. By the time Izuku made it back to the support lab, his bad mood had already dissolved into a wicked grin. Mabe was waiting for him with a bucket of thermite and a look of pure mischief. Did you break the hero? She asked cheerfully. Metaphorically, Izuku shrugged, grabbing his safety goggles and putting them over his green curls. Now let's go see if we can make Katsuki's gauntlets shoot actual confetti next time he tries to kill someone. I love that. I love that, like, little thing. I also love the premise of, like, what would have happened if Izuku didn't. Like, that whole ending thing with All Might was actually something that I'm surprised I haven't seen. Well, I don't know. I haven't really totally gone into the world of quirkless Izuku after, like, everything, because I just haven't. I haven't read many quirkless Izuku AO3s or one-shots or whatnot. If you do have, like, some good ones, put them in the comments down below, because I will. I am looking to try and read more of those because I know they're very interesting. Oh my god. I'm dying. They're very interesting. Let me drink some water because that was crazy. I don't know what happened. They're very interesting. And they have aspects like this in them that I kind of love as a My Hero fan. I love the little type nuggets, you know, that you're like, oh my god, if that did happen, that kind of actually would have been, you know, what it might have turned out as, which is very interesting. I am giving this one a kudos because it was great. Like, I loved it. It was so fun, and I've been looking for ones kind of like this. I also think that reading ones that are kind of like of the UA hero course and everything like that, class 1A and stuff like that, just like tomfoolery ones would be an awesome thing to do too. Not always a ship. It doesn't always have to be romantic, but it can be. That was terrible singing. But it can be something like that, you know. I'm gonna stop. Yeah, that wasn't supposed to happen. Oh shit, guys, I X'd it out. I don't usually do that. I usually keep it. Don't look at my messy bed. Don't look at it. Stop looking at it. Anyways, I will see you guys in the next one. I'm looking to get in more like Bakugou ones, but like I said, some tomfoolery too from the class. I think that would be really funny. I have been thinking about doing some other ships and whatnot from My Hero. If you would like to see those, go ahead and drop the ones you would want to like me to read in the comments, please. I'm also on Spotify now. You guys can find me on Spotify and you don't actually have to like watch me at all. Hey, you can actually just listen to me if you really want to. If you're listening to this on Spotify, I'm also on YouTube. So go over and check me out on YouTube and you can watch me. I do put this in video form on Spotify, but if you want to check me out on YouTube, obviously go and do it right now. I'm kidding. And subscribe because I do other things on there. I play like video games on my YouTube. They're mostly like, I don't know, like Dreadweight is the one I'm playing now. You guys might not be familiar with it. It's kind of like an anime type webtoons almost like video game. It's like Doki Doki Literature Club, I think it's called. We'll eventually play that one, but like a cozy, comfy horror. And I'm in love with it so far. It's taking a while to get I think the last part of that game out. I already have 2 parts, which are an hour long, so strap in because I've played them as if I were playing them live with you so that you have the full playthrough. And obviously, they're story games, so I have to. But that just gives you and I more time together. So if you like my vibes and you like chilling with me in this episode, I also do series on Spotify and YouTube where I will pick weird couples that we ship together or people ship together. I did Mordecai and Rigby. I did Shrek and Donkey. Yeah, just weird ones like that. Nostalgic ones, I guess, is what I'm running with right now. Guys, I recently betrayed the BkDk fandom and did Baku ones. I think it's called Bakuchako. No, I don't actually know. I always get it mixed up. I did in the video too, but check out that one, I guess, if you want to see me betray the fandom greatly and go and read one of those. Spoiler alert, I share a lot of my opinions on like what I think about Ochako and Deku together in there. So if you do want to know my opinions a little bit on that, go over there and watch or listen to the Bakugou X Ochako one that I read off of Ao3. Overall, kind of cute, but you could go over there and see. Go over there and see yourself. However, I do need to go, and I will be seeing you guys in the next one. Have a great rest of your day.